I never cry.
Right, you have breasts. I forgot.
She belongs to the people now. But she will always be here in our hearts.
Markie Post may have had a wholesome, girl-next-door persona on TV, but behind the scenes, she fought intense battles, with typecasting, heartbreak, and even cancer. From a rebellious youth to a rocky Hollywood career, Markie's journey was far from the polished sitcom roles that made her famous. What drove this pure girl to defy her own image? And how did she finally land the role that redefined her career? Markie Post was born Marjorie Armstrong Post on November 4th, 1950, in Palo Alto, California. But don't let the name Marjorie fool you. Markie was as down-to-earth as they come. As it turns out, her nickname wasn't some stage gimmick. It was born out of family necessity. Her siblings had trouble pronouncing Marjorie, so Markie was what stuck, and it suited her perfectly. She came from a family of remarkable people. Her father, Richard Post, was a physicist, but not an ordinary scientist though. He specialized in nuclear fusion, plasma physics, and magnetic levitation. Markie's dad was literally a rocket scientist. Her mother, Marilee, was equally impressive, a published poet. With parents like that, you might think Markie would feel right at home in a world of high expectations. But the truth? Markie felt immense pressure. She admired her father's intellect and her mother's grace, but doubted she'd ever live up to their achievements. In one interview, she even admitted, "I wasn't as smart as my father, and I definitely didn't have my mother's charm. So, I decided to be bad." Now, what kind of bad could a good girl like Markie get up to? Let's be honest, Markie's attempts at rebellion didn't go far. She'd try to push boundaries, but it was like she couldn't even bring herself to break a rule, let alone act out in a major way. "I flunked at being a rebel," she said. "I wouldn't drink, couldn't smoke, and didn't have sex. I just couldn't do it." If that's not irony for you, the girl trying so hard to be a rebel actually became the symbol of purity. But there were consequences to this. Her good girl image wasn't exactly winning her popularity contests. As a freshman in college, she was voted the biggest snob on campus. That crushed her. She cried for days, wondering why others misunderstood her so completely. Her first attempt to follow in her father's scientific footsteps didn't go well either. She enrolled in physics, but quickly realized it wasn't for her and eventually dropped out. Acting, on the other hand, called to her in a way nothing else did. And that's when her life truly began to change. While studying acting, Markie met her first great love, Stephen Knox, another acting student. She described him as charismatic and cynical, and the chemistry was electric. She would later say, "I was Snow White, and he was James Dean." It was the first time she ever felt wild, liberated, and deeply in love. In 1971, at just 21 years old, Markie married Stephen. But it was a brief union. Just as passionately as it began, it unraveled within a year. The marriage ended, leaving her to pick up the pieces and start anew. She threw herself into her career, now fully committed to her craft, even if it meant starting from the bottom. Before she was in front of the camera, Markie worked behind the scenes on various game shows, including The Price is Right, Family Feud, and Split Second. She had the chance to meet legends like Alex Trebek, acting as an associate producer on his show Double Dare. But she wanted more than a behind-the-scenes career. Markie wanted to perform. In 1978, she got her first on-camera job as a card dealer on Card Sharks. That brief taste of on-camera work made her realize this was where she was meant to be. Shortly after, she landed her first film role in Frankie and Annette, the second time around, and soon her career snowballed. Small guest roles in big TV shows quickly followed. Chips, Barnaby Jones, The Incredible Hulk, Heart to Heart, you name it, Markie was there. And then, in 1982, she got her big break, The Fall Guy. But her journey to the top wasn't exactly a smooth one. Markie joined The Fall Guy, a popular series where she played Terry Shannon, a bail bondswoman. Although she loved the show's concept, a Hollywood stuntman who doubled as a bounty hunter, she struggled with feeling like an outsider. Even though she was a regular, she wasn't close to her castmates. She later revealed that she felt like a shadow on the wall, and even admitted, "I felt like a typewriter more than an actor," and shockingly, she was unaware of a major drama unfolding right beside her. Her co-star, Heather Thomas, was battling addiction, but no one told Markie. It was as if she was part of the cast, yet not truly part of it. "I felt like nothing," she once confessed. "Like a zero." Then came 1984. Markie joined the cast of Night Court, a role that would cement her status as a household name. She played Christine Sullivan, the public defender, and quickly became a fan favorite. Her character was caught in a love triangle, pursued by the sleazy prosecutor Dan Fielding, played by John LaRoquette, and the kind-hearted Judge Harry, played by Harry Anderson. And it wasn't just the fans who wanted Christine to end up with Judge Harry. Markie herself believed they were the perfect match. Here's the crazy part. Years after Night Court ended, Markie and Harry reunited on 30 Rock to fulfill fans' wishes in the most hilarious way possible. In the episode, their characters almost get married until a big fight derails everything. But that guest appearance on 30 Rock wasn't just a reunion for TV's sake. It was a tribute to the unforgettable chemistry Markie and Harry shared on screen. As her fame grew, Markie's personal life was about to take an exciting turn. In 1982, Markie married Michael A. Ross, a writer and producer. And believe it or not, at first, she thought he was a huge phony. But over time, her feelings changed. They turned out to be soulmates, and their love remained strong until the end. The couple had 2 daughters, Kate Armstrong in 1987 and Daisy in 1990. Markie was as devoted to her family as she was to her career, juggling her time between raising her daughters and acting. In 1992, Markie finally got the opportunity to play a character she'd long been dreaming of, a strong, independent woman in Hearts of Fire, a satire with political overtones where she starred opposite John Ritter. Critics praised her, saying she had discovered herself as an actress. For once, she was taken seriously, and she was loving every moment of it. But the show changed directions in its second season, becoming more family-friendly, and the spark faded. As Markie's career continued, she faced a devastating diagnosis: cancer. But she kept her battle private, pushing through with a level of grace and strength that left those who knew her in awe. Even while undergoing chemotherapy, she continued to work, determined to keep her love for acting alive. One of her last appearances was in a Christmas film, 4 Christmases and a Wedding, along with roles on The Kids Are Alright and Chicago PD. She never stopped, not even when things got tough. And she didn't want to be seen as a victim. She wanted to be seen as an actress. On August 7th, 2021, Markie Post passed away. Her family, in a beautiful tribute, remembered her as more than a star. To them, she was a loving wife, a devoted mother, and a friend who baked cakes, loved crafting, and showed everyone around her how to live with kindness, love, and resilience. Markie's life was filled with laughter, love, and an unwavering spirit. She faced every role and every challenge with grace, even in her last days. She taught us that strength doesn't always look like victory. Sometimes, it looks like fighting every day for what you love, no matter how hard it gets.